This woman woke up from a near-death experience and her cancer was gone. Her name is Anita Manjari, and her story about her near-death experience is nothing short of a miracle. This incredible story is all detailed very beautifully in her book, Dying to Be Me. But to give you a short version of what happened, it truly blew my mind when I read about it. I want to make sure I tell the story as accurately as possible, so let me read you something because I think it's so beautiful. Basically, they're in the hospital and the doctor is giving her husband the bad news that, like, listen, she's not gonna make it through the night. She's unconscious. She's not really here. She's going to die, right? But she says, Anita says, at that time, this is what she says, as I watched Danny's face, Danny's her husband, as I watched Danny's face filled with anguish, and I wanted to cry out to him, "It's okay, darling. I'm okay. Please don't worry. Don't listen to the doctor. I actually feel great." But I couldn't, she said. She couldn't say any of this stuff. She was too weak. She was dying, right? But inside, she was not feeling like she was. She said, no words came out, no sound. Danny couldn't hear me. So then she wrote, in this near-death state, I was more acutely aware of all that was going on around me than I had ever been in the normal physical state. I couldn't use my 5 biological senses, yet I was keenly taking everything in. It was as though another completely different type of perception kicked in, and I seemed to encompass everything that was happening, as though I was slowly merging with it all. So she says, I felt no emotional attachment to my seemingly lifeless body as it lay there in the hospital bed. It didn't feel as though it were mine. It felt far too small and insignificant to have housed what I was experiencing. I felt free. I felt liberated. I felt magnificent. Every pain, every ache, every sadness, every sorrow, gone. I felt completely unencumbered. I couldn't recall feeling this way before, not ever. So what she's saying is, as she was dying there, right, and she was feeling so free, so liberated, not even attached to her body, and she was trying to tell her husband, I'm fine, don't listen to him. So as she continued to sense this, she said it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and almost like she got further and further and further away. So she was like expanding, and as she was physically expanding, right, this new perception of hers, she felt jubilation and happiness and peace and joy, like all these huge feelings. And I have to say, when I felt my shared death experience with my one patient that I often talk about, that is the feeling he also gave me, this feeling of like exuberance. Like, it's hard to describe this, like such peace, but such joy at the same time. It's hard to put a human, English word on it. She also said at this time, as she was expanding and as she was feeling these wonderful feelings, she started losing her attachments to like this world and her emotional attachments to her husband, to the life she had here. She could feel those falling away. And I love this because she wrote, I can only describe this as superb and glorious unconditional love that surrounded me, wrapping me tight as I continued to let go. It didn't feel as though I had physically gone somewhere else. It was more as though I had awakened, perhaps to being aroused from a bad dream, which is pretty ironic, right? Like your life was actually the bad dream. My soul was finally realizing its true magnificence. And in doing so, it was expanding beyond my body in this physical world. And then to her amazement, she says she starts sensing her dad who has already died. So she couldn't see him, she said, but she could sense that he was there. She said, once she could feel this presence, not really with her words, but with her own presence, like, Dad, you're here? I can't believe this.